Welcome to WEBN General News. I'm Callie Krosin.
And I'm Molly Dougherty. Let's get into some local breaking news. 2 Massachusetts men traveling through Vermont were reported missing by Vermont State Police. Jaheim Solomon of Pittsfield and Eric White of Chicopee, both 21, were reported missing to Vermont police on October 15th. They were traveling together and have not been in contact with their relatives for several days. Police say their disappearances took place under suspicious circumstances, and there are concerns for their welfare.
And a worker died this morning after falling from a high-rise building in Boston's financial district.
We wake up every morning, go to work, and we don't know what's going to happen that day.
The incident happened just before 8 today at 100 Summer Street, a 32-story office tower. According to its website, the building is one of the tallest in the city. The victim has not yet been identified.
And a worker injured in the MBTA early Friday morning. The employee was working on the Red Line's 3rd track at the North Quincy station. MBTA spokesperson Joe Pesaturo said the employee dropped a wrench and touched his leg to the rail. He sustained minor burn injuries to his leg. The MBTA will launch an investigation into the incident.
In more MBTA news, the agency announced issues on the new Green Line extension.
Right now, the Green Line should be working perfectly because it's brand new. How could they screw up a brand new track?
More than half of the tracks on the Tufts-Medford line will need to be widened. These repairs could take weeks to fix. MBTA General Manager Phil Eng said the public will not be paying for the repairs. A study revealed the agency knew about the necessary regauging on the extension 2 years ago.
And now switching gears to news overseas. Aid has started to funnel into Gaza in the wake of the large-scale humanitarian crisis.
Yesterday just entered 20 trucks, among them medical disposable and drugs. The other issue is food and something like that. In a regular days, usually what enter Gaza is about 600 to 700 trucks. It is nothing what entered regarding the 20 trucks in Gaza.
Israel has been launching airstrikes on the area following the Hamas attack a few weeks ago. Aid trucks bring food, water, and medical equipment to Gaza residents. Over the weekend, 34 trucks crossed the Egypt-Gaza border to supply aid. This is the first shipment of resources to the territory. Officials believe Gaza will need much more to fight the crisis.
To hear more about the war in the Middle East, we go to our international correspondent, Parker Garlough. Parker?
Thanks, Callie. The Labour Party won 2 out of 3 special elections in the UK on Friday. The seats were previously Conservative Party strongholds, representing voters in Tamworth and Mid-Bedfordshire. Labour is strongly favoured to win the upcoming national UK election in 2025. Russian forces killed at least 3 Ukrainian civilians and wounded several others on Friday and Saturday. They bombed the Ukrainian town of Nikopol from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which Russian troops took over in February of 2022. An industrial facility and multiple residential areas were struck. Biden called on Hamas to release American hostages before discussing ceasefire. The administration has also begun pressuring Israel to delay a ground invasion of Palestine to allow for the release of more hostages. 2 have been released, and there are believed to be fewer than 10 remaining in custody. Additionally, the International Court of Justice will hold a public hearing in 2024 regarding the Israeli occupation of Palestine and its consequences for international law. That's all for international news. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Parker. A human chain was formed across the street at the Boston Common. Our field correspondent Faith Pinnow has more.
Hundreds of protesters gathered tonight in the Boston Common, first to form a human chain along Tremont Street, and now they've moved in front of the Massachusetts state capitol. They're calling for the release of hundreds of hostages still held by Hamas in Gaza. Parents, school teachers, children, and members from around the Boston Jewish community had a clear message Monday night. bring our brothers and sisters home.
We are all in this together, and we will be strong. And that's our message for everyone in Israel. We are with them together. And our message to the world is, help us.
Demonstrators led songs, chants, and prayers in a show of solidarity with their loved ones in Israel. Many say that they know somebody who has been kidnapped or killed since the October 7th Hamas attack.
Friends and families are being killed. Every family in Israel has been impacted by this.
Calls for wider support were echoed by activists. Following the release of 2 hostages Monday afternoon, Amit Fudim, a Jewish youth group leader, says there's still more to be done.
I just think it's important to continue praying, continue delivering assistance in any capacity that you can, be it financial, spiritual, mental, in any capacity.
For WEBN from Boston, I'm Faith Pinnow.
Thanks, Faith. We're going to take a quick break, but coming up, the search for a new House Speaker continues.
And a victory for the Patriots. We'll be right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Welcome back.
Let's get right into some news in the White House.
President Biden has reinforced his support for Ukraine and Israel. Biden gave a speech in the Oval Office on Thursday.
In Israel, we must make sure that they have what they need to protect their people today and always. The security package I'm sending to Congress and asking Congress to do is an unprecedented commitment to Israel's security that will sharpen Israel's qualitative military edge, which we've committed to.
He insisted support for both countries remains vital for American national security and will ask Congress for billions in military assistance. The aid package would include $105 billion, including $60 billion for Ukraine.
Last week, Hamas released 2 American hostages and were taken captive in Israel following the surprise Hamas attacks on the country October 7th.
These 2 Americans are now safely in the hands of Israeli authorities in Israel. We expect the team from the U.S. Embassy to see them very shortly. Over the coming hours, they'll receive any support and assistance they need. And of course, we're very anxious to be able to reunite them with their loved ones.
Judith Tai Ronen and Natalie Shoshana Ronen, a mother and daughter, met at the Gaza border where Israeli military forces escorted them safely to a military base. The Qatar government helped to secure their release. President Biden said he is currently working on getting all American hostages released. For more political news, we go to our politics correspondent, Caroline Kenyon. What do you have for us, Caroline?
Thanks, Molly. The search for House Speaker continues. Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio drops out of the race Friday after a 3rd consecutive loss. He received 194 votes in total, though he needed 21 more to be officially elected. All 210 Democrats backed Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Future candidates have until Sunday to announce their interest in running. Trump co-defendant accepts a plea deal on Friday in the election interference trial. As part of the deal, Kenneth Chesbrough pleaded guilty to a felony count of conspiracy to commit filing false documents and agreed to testify before the court. He must complete 5 years of probation, a $5,000 fine, and 100 hours of community service. Chesbrough is also required to continuously provide documents and evidence to the state. On Friday, the Supreme Court declined to block a judge's ruling that a Missouri gun law was unconstitutional. Created in 2021, the law limited state government cooperation with the federal government in enforcing gun laws. It declared that fees on firearms and restrictions on tracking violate the Second Amendment. That's all I have for politics. Back to you at the desk.
It was a busy weekend in Boston as the head of the Charles Regatta was in town. Correspondent Caroline Reese has more.
A homecoming for everyone in the rowing community. The sun is out and Boston's Head of the Charles has kicked off this weekend. Thousands of rowers from around the world have made their way to Boston's Charles River to compete in the 3-day regatta.
We were all rowing in the Silver Skiff in Italy, which is a singles race in Torino, and we talked about possibly rowing a quad together.
Many have found their current teammates through unlikely encounters.
He was the captain of our rowing team last year. I joined and he kind of mentored me, helped me get into the sport a lot, and then we just kind of saw this as a great opportunity and we just had to take it.
Many of these teams spend countless hours perfecting their craft.
We spend probably honestly 25 hours a week doing this sport. I think there's a lot of trust too that you have to have in your teammates. You have to trust that everyone's doing their best at all times.
Probably one of the best team sports. You really need to be connected with the people in your boat.
I think surrounding yourself with people who are also dedicated to improving themselves is just a really great way to make friends.
One word that seems to be at the heart of every team: accountability.
I think the most important thing, especially in fours, is accountability. Because if your pair partner or your boat isn't with you, it really affects whether or not you can win or whether or not you lose.
We don't want to disappoint each other. We know we only get 2 times a year to do this, and so we want to bring our best selves. So we're working all year long for our team.
With all of the hard work comes so much love. For many, this sport has brought them more than just medals. It has brought unexpected best friends.
Created a bond that's will never be broken.
The love and energy is palpable today amongst teammates and family and friends. For a complete list of finishers, visit hotc.org. From Boston, this is Caroline Reese for WEBN.
Thanks, Caroline. That looks absolutely incredible. Now we're going to check to see how some of Boston's favorite sports teams played this past weekend. We go to our sports correspondent, Bishop Marshall, for the latest. Bishop?
Thanks, Callie. The Patriots took home their second win of the season in Sunday's win against the Buffalo Bills. The Pats took an early 10-point lead. However, undeterred, the Bills hung in for a competitive second half, where they would regain the lead 25-22 with just under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But Patriots quarterback Mac Jones answered with an 8-play, 69-yard game-sealing drive, making the final 29-25 Pats. The win also marked Coach Bill Belichick's 300th career win as an NFL coach, making him the third coach in history to do so. And in the NHL, the Bruins are still undefeated, winning last night against the Anaheim Ducks. After a scoreless first 2 periods, rookie Matthew Patois scored his first 2 NHL goals, putting Boston up in the third. Brad Marchand scored into an empty goal with 2 minutes and 34 seconds left on the clock for a final of 3-1. Now, 5-0, the Bruins are off to their best start through 5 games in 86 years. And the Boston Celtics ended their preseason with a statement in Charlotte. In a 129-99 win against the Hornets, all 5 starters posted double-digit points, with the Celtics leading by as much as 40 points in the third. On the defensive side, the Celtics set a franchise record 22 steals. The Celtics will look to keep the momentum from this preseason as they fly to New York Wednesday for their season opener versus the Knicks. That's all I have for sports. Back to you.
Thanks, Bishop. Boston sports fans sure have a lot to celebrate. Stay with us to find out which pop star is back on tour.
And which Rhode Island taco spot made Yelp's top 100 list. We'll be right back.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
This weekend may be the first in 6 weeks without rain. For more, let's go to our weather correspondent, Rylie Burns. What do you have for us, Rylie?
Thanks, Callie. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high of 62. Wednesday gets a little warmer with a high of 71, but still cloudy skies. Temperatures go up on Thursday with sunshine and a high of 74. Friday also holds steady at 74 with cloudy skies. and we get into more sunshine and even warmer temperatures on Saturday. So definitely a great day to go out and soak up all the sunshine before the winter season. That's all I have for weather. Back to you.
Thanks, Rylie. The Material Girl is hitting the road for the 13th time. Madonna kicked off her latest world tour at London's famous O2 Arena on Saturday. The star had to delay the first leg of the tour after suffering from a severe bacterial infection this summer. Madonna will stay in Europe for a few weeks before bringing the show to North America in December. For more on entertainment, we go to our entertainment correspondent, Lia Klug. Lia?
Thank you, Callie. The Rolling Stones returned with a gig at a Manhattan club last Thursday. The band played 7 songs, 4 of which were off the newly released album Hackney Diamonds. Lady Gaga joined them on stage for a performance of the new song Sweet Sounds of Heaven. The band also played Jumpin' Jack Flash to the crowded bar, proving nothing is better than the originals. Actress Lupita Nyong'o announces recent breakup on her Instagram. Nyong'o shares she is in a, quote, season of heartbreak, citing deception as a reason for the split. While she did not name names, the actress was most recently linked with television host and sports commentator Salema Masaleka. Nyong'o received public support from many a famous friend, notably filmmaker Ava DuVernay. And MTV cancels their annual EMAs, or European Music Awards, due to recent world events in Israel and Gaza. They announced the news through their Instagram account, citing the safety concern of global travel. The EMAs were set to take place in Paris on November 5th. That's all the news for entertainment. Back to you two at the desk.
Thanks, Leah. Now this is something to talk about. Yelp recently released their list of the 100 best taco spots in the U.S. One New England restaurant made the list. Casa Azul Taqueria in Providence, Rhode Island ranked number 94. The husband and wife-owned restaurant opened their doors in 2020. So, Callie, should we go to Providence this weekend and try out these tacos?
I think it's an obvious yes.
I think we might have to hop on the commuter rail and go up.
I'll see you this weekend.
I'll see you there.
That's all we have today. Thank you for watching WEBN General News. I'm Callie Krosin.
And I'm Molly Dougherty. For more, go to WEBN.TV or check us out on Instagram at WEBN General News. Have a great night.